Come on. Hey guys, looks like I might have a technical difficulty again. We're gonna see here. Looks like I'm freezing. Okay. I think I am back up and running again. I just did a little refresh. So, for those of you who have been here for some of the previous visits, some of the previous episodes, you're going to notice some things that are going to be similar, and you're going to notice some things that are going to be specific for weight loss and detox. Tonight is about weight loss and detox. Now, just to give you a little heads up, I've not been a huge fan of detox in the past, and maybe I'm opening up to it a little bit. Maybe one of my difficulties when it comes to, traditional medicine, for example, is recognizing that the weaknesses that come from traditional medicine, and or something as a weakness per se, it's just a trade-off. When you're looking at something from a short-term perspective, obviously you're going to be short-sighted when it comes to the long-term perspective. So one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is my perspective of weight loss. And I'm moving in the direction of actually being okay with doing a little weight loss and whatnot. I set it as a goal this year to become a master goal setter and understand some of the nuances that go along with it. So my goal this evening is to give you some insight into some of the weaknesses that I see in relation to traditional weight loss and detoxing. If you just do, for example, just the weight loss, just the detox, for example, I'm going to share with you that I have a little coupon for 10% off of a detox kit, for example, that can help you lose weight. But I caution you, I don't want you necessarily just to use it if you're just going to do it and then you're not going to do any work in order to be able to get yourself healthy in the long run haul. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is I have charge on that idea of when people are doing weight loss, for example, and let's say you lose a lot of weight. Maybe this has been you. Maybe you've lost a lot of weight. And you finish your detox, and in 3 months you're yo-yoing and you're back and you've gained all the weight back, right? That's a struggle for a lot of people. Now tonight I'm really going to be focused in my message, and I'm going to present that to you, and would love some feedback and comments. I am not going to check them as much this evening. Thank you, Shirley. But I am going to do my best to pay attention to them and see if they are something that I can comment on. So I'm going to actually put these over here. And let's get started, shall we? Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to start into my presentation. So remember, again, I want you to understand from my perspective, my goal with this is to help you guys understand that it's okay to start on a weight loss detox, but I'm going to suggest that you do more than just one side of the triangle. And when I say more than one side of the triangle, I'm going to show you what that means here in just a moment. Now, we're going to transition over to my presentation here. And we're going to start with the presentation. Now, my concern is that last time this did not show up correctly. So I apologize. 1 second here. I'm going to try and keep my Facebook Live comments here. They're going to be relatively small. So can you guys see my screen when I put this on presenter mode? It looks like it takes my ability to see your comments. So, can you see that? Is that centered? Surely I would love some feedback from you. I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So, tonight is For those people who are in a position where COVID has struck you, so to speak, it has been with you maybe a little too much in a little bit too much different areas. And from that context, oftentimes what happens is, we become toxic. Maybe we've eaten too many donuts. Maybe we haven't done enough physical movement, and a lot of our waste products are stuck inside of us, right? Maybe we've been exposed to stuff that's toxic for us. Maybe environments. Maybe, it looks centered. Thank you, Janine. We're stuck in environments that are toxic. Both, the environment that we're in right now is a difficult situation emotionally. I do not suggest doing a full detox while you're breastfeeding. But if you want to contact me directly, we can adjust to something a little more gentle. I do not suggest. So the question was, can we do the detox breastfeeding? So we're going to have to do a modified form if you're breastfeeding. So again, if COVID has hit you and or you haven't been moving as much and you have a little bit of weight or you have a little bit of a stress belly, we like to call that a cortisol belly, okay? That cortisol belly is there because when you're stressed, you have a tendency to break down your arms and legs so your muscles get weak and then you get a nice fat belly. And so this idea of being overweight and toxic is not fun, right? You can see that picture, right? I want you to feel that when I say that, right? This is how we feel about ourselves oftentimes. So there's a couple of different things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about weight loss and detox, right? These are simple solutions from a biochemistry perspective. Okay, when I say biochemistry, I mean like things that you're putting in your body, okay, things that you're exposed to, the way in which your body works. That's what I mean when I mean biochemistry. So one of the ways you can work with and help work on this unwanted circumstance of being overweight or full of toxic stuff is to do some weight loss and detox. Now, so the next part is to understand again, while we look at and or contemplate this idea of are we going to or do we want to do any actions in relation to this idea of being overweight or full of toxins, right? We need to understand that they can come from multiple different areas. They can come from a biochemical perspective, again, like we just discussed, which is the most common and the easiest thing for us to think about. But oftentimes it's really important for you to understand that in our modern day environment. For example, I'm sitting at a computer right now and I do a lot of computer work throughout the day, and I know a lot of you have been at home, right? And as you're at home, you structurally sit in a position, for example, where you maybe crouched over a little bit, or you're not in a position where your spine is super stable, and that causes other stresses, and then it causes you to be in a stress response. If you're leaning forward and or kind of in a scared position in Chinese medicine, then that kind of indicates that you're in a fear-based state. So that can actually put you in, that structural position can put you in a position potentially where your body is then going to give you hormones that put you into a fear response, okay? And that leads to the emotional piece, right? All of these things, maybe you're a little stressed about the vaccine depending on the side that you're on. You're a little stressed about Omicron. You're a little stressed about, am I going to die? Do I have family members dying? I have family and friends. I have patients who have had family members die from COVID, okay? It's a real thing. And so there's a lot of emotional stressors on top of that biochemical and structural component that have put us in this position, okay? And so it's really important for us to then be able to take a stand and say, hey, do I want to do something about this or not, okay? So first thought is no action. Well, you totally have the choice to not do anything, right? You can totally not do anything. And that leads us back to our original result, which was, right? I want you to feel that in your body. Is that how you feel? Right? Just for fun, if you want to participate in this process with me, nobody's around, you can do a little something that makes you feel a little weird. I want you to make a sound that makes you feel like how you feel. Right? Just so you can really internalize that. So, and while that's funny, it's also really important for you to understand how you feel about your current situation. Now, there's a lot of different aspects in that, and we're not going to go into all the details tonight. But what we're going to focus on is more of what we're looking on and or looking at that can give us more of a desired result, okay, which is to have action. And we're going to talk about one of those actions, and then I'm going to give you a few ideas, and then over the next couple of weeks, I'm probably going to do a few more classes and or online programs that possibly I'll even send to you guys. Okay, so we have this idea. We have this experience that we don't want. We have a desire to change it. Now the next question, of course, is, well, how? How do we change? Okay, so one of the first important components is to really be able to have an awareness of understanding and identifying where are you. So there are two components here on the screen that, if you're interested, for those who are in the chat tonight, you can just put a little thing that says, help me identify where I'm at. Okay, I want you to write that in the chat so when we come back and look at it later, those are going to be the people that we're going to send this information to. And it's going to contain two pieces of information. This cool path to optimal health perspective to help you understand where you are in relation to illness, comfort zone, and wellness. Okay, and then there's some descriptions on the right hand side. Now, in conjunction with that, we're also going to send you one of our food diaries, because that's really important. That will help you understand and identify where you are and whether or not you want to stay where you are. Now, the next component, now some of these things, for those of you who have been following us for the last while, you're going to recognize some consistencies here. So this is something that I've used in the last couple of weeks, and it's a great framework, right? Because the question is can you see yourself losing weight? Can you see yourself getting rid of some of those toxic emotions? Can you see yourself getting rid of some of these aspects that you don't want to have anymore? If you can't, it's really important for you to see that you can't. And because what we're looking for is that outcome. We're looking to be able to see what we're trying to accomplish. So again, if you can't, then you're probably doing too much. For those of you who are not heavy into weightlifting, for example, you probably can't go and lift all this weight in a deadlift. Now, I lift a fair amount of weights, and I can't even lift that amount in deadlift, right? I would need to work at it quite a bit to be able to get to this point. So what I want to do is help you identify and learn to develop the skill to identify when you're overwhelmed and trying to do too much, so that you can break things down. So for example, one that's really, really common in relation to goals related to weight loss, okay, is this the idea that you are going to try and lose 50 pounds tomorrow, right? That's totally unrealistic, okay? So for example, I have a gentleman I'm working with currently who we want to lose 50 pounds, okay? But he needs to have his hand held, and it needs to be broken up into little small pieces. So what we've done is we've actually given him a 5-year goal, okay? And we actually broke his weight loss up into something along the lines of 5 pounds a month, okay? So it's really important for you to understand if 50 pounds, if you say, I got to lose 50 pounds, I got to do it tomorrow, know that you're not going to work. That's probably a component of self-sabotage. So we got to be able to identify that that's too much and to be able to make a change. Okay? Now, it's very important to understand that if you're going to try and undergo this process, it's very important that we support each other. Now, that's going to come from several different areas. Okay? Now, I have kept track of my old business coach, and he recently set himself a goal to walk, 500 miles, I think it was. It took him almost 100 days to walk those 500 miles, and something that was profound to me today, he mentioned that he never could have accomplished it if he wasn't posting on his Facebook and being held accountable. Oftentimes, it's not enough for us to be motivated internally. We need that external support. Now, many of you have heard me say this, but I love this idea that living and or our interactions and or our relationships are like breathing, okay? Breathing in is going to sustain us individually. Breathing out sustains and supports our relationships outside of us. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know very many people that can live very long if they're only breathing in or they're only breathing out, right? Who's with me in that, right? So we have a weight loss and detox group. So if you can also make note, either ask for, if you can find our weight loss and detox group, go ahead and directly ask for access to jump in. If you would like for us to come back and look at this tomorrow, and you would like to be added to the weight loss and detox group so that you can have those people that will support you, that you can report your good days and we can celebrate together, or you can report that you're really having a hard day, and we'll talk about that so you can readjust. Please put in the Facebook box accountability group. Okay? Excuse me. Please put in the comment box. Please add me to the Facebook group, and that'll be sufficient. So accountability, very, very important. Okay. So then the next piece is really understanding how important it is to be able to break your goals down into a specific, as it says here in the SMART goal worksheet, and I do variations of this, but for today's relevance, we're just going to use this. It needs to be specific. So we're talking about weight loss. So let's say specificity was 50 pounds. Okay, well, that might be accomplishable over a 2-year time frame. But that's not most likely going to be something you're going to do in a 2-week time frame. So we need to make it more realistic. Okay, now that can qualify to some degree down there at the R, but specific. So let's set a measurable, realistic goal of 10 pounds. Okay, now measurable, how can we measure that? Well, we can measure it on a scale. You can even do one of these fun little thermostats for yourself, right? Put it up somewhere and be specific. Okay, is it attainable on a scale of 0 to 10, right? For example, can I attain a 5-pound weight loss? So for me, I'm not actually looking for weight loss. I'm looking for muscle growth. Okay, so for me, it's like, can I do 50 burpees a day and 100 push-ups a day? On a scale of 10, doing that for maybe 30 days in a row, is that attainable for me? Right? So I'm not going to say my scale, but I know what my scale is. Is it relevant? Absolutely. I love doing fitness stuff. I love being strong. What is my time frame on that? Okay, so for example, I'm going to propose for those of you who want to do this that you engage by committing to yourself and jumping onto the weight loss program and or the detox program. It's a 10-day kit that you can order, and I'll show you that at the end of the presentation tonight. Okay. So it's really important that you're able to walk through that process so you can attain your goals. Now, again, we've talked about this, but I'm going to reintroduce it because it's so important. Okay, who amongst you who are on the video today, who amongst you have set goals and got stuck? Okay, who has felt down and ashamed for not accomplishing said goals, right? It's something that happens to us on a regular basis. Now, in further workshops, I'm going to discuss the different things that tend to get us into that particular piece, which is going to be maybe your blood sugar's out of whack and you're feeling emotionally depressed and you're not moving enough, and so you're stuck in a whole bunch of different places, and it makes it very difficult to be able to move, right? Even moving off the couch at that point in time becomes very difficult. So at that point in time, it's really important to be able to identify that we need to make things smaller and smaller and smaller until we can make it accomplishable. Okay? So we'll talk about those more in a couple weeks. Now, is there a charge on the topic? Weight loss is so charged as a topic, right? So many people have so much charge in relation to this idea. They have body image issues. Their parents told them this. Society tells them this. And so when and if you have those things, know that you can sit down and do some writing. I usually suggest automatic writing, where you sit down and you write maybe at the top of your paper, body image issues. Okay, and then you write about it and you destroy that paper when you're done, or you do a brain dump where you write all your body image issues on the little notepad pieces of paper like you have in my little presentation here. right? Sticky notes. And then you destroy them when you're done. And if that doesn't work, or if you can't do that, know you need help. Okay? It's really, really important. Yeah, thank you for the comments that are coming in, guys. I appreciate those. I'm not sure if you guys can see each other's comments. So again, get help if it is too much for you. If your inner critic is shutting you down. If an outer critic is shutting you down. Right? One of my favorite things additionally also is Kristen Neff's self-compassion website. You can go there right now after we're done, selfcompassion.org, and learn about how to do and have a little self-compassion for yourself. I love giving people exercise too on her little self-compassion exercises. Okay? Go do that right now if you're having a hard time even making this as a goal. So now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to go back to, again, this idea that if you're ready, okay, if you're not ready, then there's a few steps that you need to take in preparation to be ready. But for those who are now ready to make a goal and to be accountable, join the Facebook group. Talk to friends, talk to family, write these things down. Have a goal specific, okay? And share it with others and be able to work through that process so you can see the process that you're going through. Track that progress, okay? And when you're off kilter, it's very important to be able to readjust. Okay, we all need a little bit of calibration, whether we're overdoing it or underdoing it. That's kind of a very Chinese medicine philosophy, but that's a philosophy that I use every day in practice with patients. Okay? Now, an important key, okay, that is very, very important. I cannot stress, and I'm learning myself how important this is, but that is to celebrate your success. Okay, so what does that mean? Maybe that means that you pat yourself on the back. Or say, I can do this. I'm doing a great job. This works for me, right? You have to identify for you what is celebrating your success. Maybe that's asking a friend to pat you on the back when you accomplish these things. Maybe that's asking your partner to give you a hug and giving you a high five, right? What do you guys do when you celebrate your success? Please, please comment. Let me know what you're doing to celebrate your success, okay? This is a very real trauma sort of situation. For example, I had somebody in my office recently who she was not even able to say anything that allowed her to celebrate her success, because as a child, she did not grow up under the idea and the guise that it's worthwhile and or okay to celebrate that she's making progress on something, okay? So these are very real things. So you need to understand that if you're not able to accomplish any steps in relation to these 4 steps of success, of being able to have the weight loss and detox, you probably, what I would refer to as trauma survivor, okay? What that means is you probably have charge on particular topics. And if you do, that means you need help, whether it be professional or personal with family or friends. If that doesn't work first, go out and seek for help. Honestly, that's what I love to do. Many of you here today know that that's a passion of mine. I love helping from the mental, emotional perspective, especially when people get stuck. So, what we're here for today is to help you understand that today I'm going to offer you something that's going to help you move forward from a biochemistry perspective and get you focused on getting rid of some physiological toxicity. Now, the beauty of this process is as you go through this process, there will be other people who are doing it. We can talk about, successes, things that are catching you in the group. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a discount to be motivated to do it, okay? And if you do it in the next 2 days, you'll get a 10% discount off of the kit. So this will allow you to physiologically detox. Now, it's really important for you to understand that when you're physiologically detoxing, you're in a place where things are moving a lot. So you can also use that energy to emotionally detox. Now, this brings me back to my pet peeve of traditional detoxes, okay? So if you're just going to detox physiologically, that's great, to lose a little bit of weight, But the problem that I see, and the thing that I'm going to give you guys is a piece of information, is understanding that this is only the start. right? And if you're going to choose to just do it for the short term because you need a little Band-Aid, that's fine. But I would encourage you to use it as a way to get the ball rolling above and beyond that. To start working on maybe some inner turmoil, that maybe the reason why your blood sugar is imbalanced in the first place. Maybe you're not sleeping. Maybe there's some stressors that you haven't dealt with. So maybe you can sit down and do a little bit of that automatic writing while you're detoxing over the next 10 days when you start this process, and start letting some things go and start facing some things. And or if you get stuck and cannot move forward yourself, get some help. Okay? So the question that I leave you guys with today is this: what are you going to choose to do this year? Is this something you're interested in? If it is, please. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to include the link for our website and the coupon code. So I apologize. If you guys would bear with me for just a second here, I'm going to pull this off. And I'm going to put myself back on, and I'm going to see really quickly if I can find the link for the Facebook Live event. Here's the Facebook group. Okay, so we're going to do two things here. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this here. So the link to the Facebook group directly is right here. And the coupon code is right here. Copy and paste over to you guys is going to be right here. So that coupon code is New Year Detox. So you can go ahead and go there yourself. And you can order that this evening if you like, and you can get on this process. So we're gonna add you guys to the group for those of you who are interested in that. Tim, if you could take a look at this later and add all those people, that would be great. And we're also going to be following up again in roughly 2 weeks. Watch for an email and or a Facebook Live discussing the next topic. And or I would love for you guys to write some topics down here. So my thought was in roughly a week or 2 weeks, I haven't actually set this down as a time frame, but I'm going to have maybe an emergency stress class in relation to the weight loss and detox, right? So what do you do when you get stuck with weight loss and or the emotional component? So for those of you who are also interested in that, please go ahead and comment. Maybe say something like interested in stress course, or let's just leave it at that. Interested in stress course. And if you want me to adjust it and curtail it to a particular unwanted circumstance in your life, okay, I want you to put that in here, or you can private message me. Because here's again what's happening. Right now I am diving into this idea of learning how to make classes for what I've been doing from a clinical perspective so I can help the masses. So if you have an unwanted circumstance related to weight loss, detox, and or again, kind of that short-term emotional stress, I'm definitely for sure going to be doing a class and course. It'd be like a 15-minute course and class on this idea of what to do in acute circumstances for a stressful situation. Tips and tricks and or things to practice at home so that you can be prepared for stressful situations. And maybe I'll also include maybe a few herbs or tinctures or homeopathics or something along those lines that may also help you work through that stressful experience. All right, everybody. Thank you all for participating this evening. Thank you for the comments, and I will look forward to talking to you again soon. This is Dr. Fisher signing out. And remember, if you have any specifics that you want me to do, please Facebook message me and or send an